So a very warm welcome to all of you, and we really, you know that this evening is really about celebrating the accomplishments of our alumni, including, of course, our nominees this evening. And so many of our alumni have worked to improve the healthcare system, and we really want to honor that this evening. There's so much to celebrate this evening. We promise you're going to have lots of time to talk to each other over dinner and after dinner, well into the evening with our dessert bar and music afterwards. So looking forward to that. But before we settle in for dinner, I want to take you a little bit of a journey of the last 10 years of the HIMP program. And although our program is only 10 years old, Schulich is celebrating its 50th anniversary coming up this year, and we are the first part of that celebration. So that's not surprising as you take a look at the distinguished leaders that we nominated, or that you nominated as alumni. When you take a look at this group, we have many that graduated long before we had HIMP. In the 4 decades before HIMP, we had Schulich grads entering into healthcare and establishing very prominent careers. And it doesn't surprise me at all, because one of the things I really love about Schulich is that it is a legacy school of 3 sectors. From its very inception, it's the only business school I know in the world from its inception was a public sector, private sector, and not-for-profit school altogether. And so that's not surprising to have health then as an area that is embedded in our values, because what isn't a 3-sector project in healthcare? And so it's part of our DNA, I should say. And yet in 2003, some of the students here who were saying, yeah, it's great to have a 3-sector school. We recognize that health is embedded and many of our graduates go into healthcare, but they said we need to have something else. And they said we needed to have some special instruction and mentoring. And so 2 of our students, who are now alumni and now faculty members here, Addie Pye and Leandra Wells, started something called the Healthcare Biotech Forum, the student club, which was to bring in speakers from industry, create networking opportunities for students. And the HCBF, of course, we have to have more acronyms in healthcare, and we're adding to that acronym list here tonight. The HCBF is grown and has grown and evolved and is a thriving student club today. And Addie and Leandra sort of gave a little bit of a nudge to the dean to talk about creating a health stream here at Schulich, but he'd already started been thinking about that pretty seriously, so the timing was quite right for that. And so I came back to Schulich after having left for a few years to work at McGill to start this health industry concentration. And my experience at McGill taught me that there are some gaps in management training in healthcare. And sitting at lunch with Alan Middleton, who's the head of our executive development program here at Schulich, I took out a napkin and started scribbling on this napkin where I felt the gaps were. He asked for the napkin after lunch, took it back to his office, and one of his staff produced this image. So this is the diagram. Anybody who's taken my classes know this is a diagram that we talk about as being foundational for HIMP. It identifies, because part of my issue was, and my belief today and still is today, or belief then and still is today, was that the real improvement in healthcare is not going to happen within the silos, but it's going to happen between the silos. It's the white space, the connections that we really need to spend more time on. And from my observations at that time, there was no school in Canada dealing with the white space. You could take an individual course within one of those silos, but nothing connecting them. And so, in essence, we need students to really think about healthcare as a systems challenge. And students and faculty, we all are asking ourselves the same question. If we really want to improve health outcomes, and if we believe that impacting the health industry is one way to do it, what do I need to do in my role, various roles that we take? And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we stand for. This is why we exist. Regardless of whether alum work in the supplier side of healthcare, pharma, biotech, medical devices, in the provider side of healthcare, hospitals or clinics, in health policy or in health charity or as a consultant, the Schulich challenge is the same. How am I improving health outcomes, and how am I contributing to a sustainable system? So over the next 10 years, we developed, evolved, experimented, and collaborated. I'm just going to highlight a few of these milestones in the next few minutes. But first, I'm sure everybody here has heard of the Canadian tenors. Did you know we have our own tenors here, the HIMP tenors? Here they are. So these are the 4 people who've been with us for the full 10 years. So our tenors. We don't know if they can sing, but maybe we can ask them. So Addie and Leandra started in the student club, the HCBF, and then have continued on here as faculty members, team teaching in a terrific course that they do. And Clara Can, who really doesn't like the limelight, but anybody who's had an opportunity to work in HIMP knows that Clara is absolutely essential to this program. She has an unbelievable work ethic. Where is Clara? There she is. She has an unbelievable work ethic. And She embodies customer service. She recognizes that every student, every alum, faculty, advisory board member is all a special customer, and she is amazing with all of us. So thank you for your very cheerful support all these years, Clara. And Joel Shalowitz, Dr. Joel Shalowitz, who is here, he headed up a similar specialization at Kellogg for many, many years, and he has really been an inspiration for us from the day one and actually before day one in providing us guidance and teaching for us, flying back and forth from Kellogg, from Chicago, throughout the fall. Any one of you who've had a chance to take one of Joel's courses, you learn a tremendous amount. It stays with you. I see some nods around the room there, Joel. So he's amazing. And at HIMP, we believe in bringing the real world into the classroom. And our classes are known for bringing in key leaders from industry as speakers, but also to be sounding boards and critics for students' projects as they unfold. And over the years, HIMP alumni, as they started to assume more and more senior roles, we've been blessed with adding their names into our roster of experts we bring in to participate in our classes. We also believe in bringing our students out to the real world to deal with real issues. And starting in 2005, we ran a 3-year project on HIV/AIDS, a true global health challenge. But we took a bit of a different twist on this one. We knew we weren't going to cure HIV/AIDS or treat anyone currently infected, but we went back to those questions. How are we going to impact the health system to improve health outcomes? And we decided to look at some unusual suspects in the spread and a potential mitigation of the spread of HIV/AIDS. We looked at the non-health corporate sector, the large employers. Student interns and teams of students looked at how these employers like Shell and De Beers could be used to mitigate the spread of HIV/AIDS and to contribute to treatment. The companies we worked with were in high prevalence countries like South Africa, but also in countries that were facing a rapid increase in cases like in India and Russia. And this is Alen Wong, who was one of our interns. She's pictured here in Soweto, and she worked in South Africa. And after she graduated with this internship, she went on to work for the Clinton Foundation for many years and has just returned to us recently in Canada and is now working at Mount Sinai. Many of the students who participate in this project say that this was a turning point in their lives and it changed their career direction. Closer to home, in 2007, in partnership with York Biotech, which was headed by Rob Folds. Where's Rob? With Rob Folds. At the time, we launched the Sanofi Pasteur Healthcare Venture Challenge, which matched students with scientists and inventors to create compelling business plans. And Grant Tipler, where is Grant? There he is, there's Grant. Grant has been a member of our advisory board and has been involved with this project as part of the Dragon's Den panel since its inception. And York Biotech eventually became Venture Lab, and they continue to partner with us on this challenge. In 2009, we created an advisory board with great thinkers and leaders across the sector, and these individuals provide feedback to us about the program, they're mentors for our students, host events, and open doors for career opportunities, and are role models for our students and alumni. In 2010, where's Jimmy? Jimmy Yang, there he is, Jimmy. Jimmy came to me to say that he'd been bouncing ideas around with some of the other HIMP alumni in healthcare, and he said, they're aware that their take on healthcare was a bit different than graduates from other programs. They really felt that this systems approach was quite special. And so he said, we think we need to create an organization of alumni to bring the systems view back out to the organizations, but also to contribute back to the school. And so they began another acronym, the SSBHE, the Schulich School of Business Health Exchange. And Jimmy, Aaron, and Natalie were some of the co-founders at the beginning for the executive team. So 4.5 years later, the SSBHE hosts over 300 members now in its LinkedIn website, and most of them are Schulich alum, but there are a few other friends of Schulich also who are interested in networking, serious conversation about healthcare, and mentoring of HIMP students. So HIMP students have an unbelievable roster of these 300 folks in this, 300 plus folks on the SSBHE. And one of the highlights of the SSBHE is this event we call Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And this began as a germ of idea at one of our advisory board meetings, and these dinners are hosted by a senior healthcare leader, usually from our advisory board, but not exclusively. And each dinner has 2 to 3 HIMP alumni and 6 to 8 students. And the host provides the meal at their home or their club or at a restaurant. And the students have this incredible opportunity to have conversations with both senior leaders and more recent graduates. And these dinners are an absolute gift to the students. They're a gift of mentorship, guidance, and networking. And we're so grateful to all the hosts and to the SSBHE who manage these dinners so beautifully and professionally. A number of our hosts are here this evening, and I do hope you know how significant a contribution you are making when you host a dinner. Students remember these conversations and take away pearls of wisdom for their careers, about the healthcare system, and also about life in general. So thank you. And in 2012, we started a couple things. One was a graduate diploma, which adds to the work term, and Melissa Kahn was part of nudging me towards that. She didn't realize it was going to take me 2 years of fighting bureaucracy to get it through, but we did it, Melissa. And this has provided an incredible opportunity, particularly for students who are from abroad, who are switching parts of the healthcare system to get a work experience on their resume before they apply for full-time jobs. It was also the year that one of our alum, Dave Puri, where's Dave? There he is, came to me and said, we really need to have a scholarship, and I would like to start that whole process. And so we started the Friends of HIMP Scholarship at Dave's insistence and initiative. And one of our SSBH events, Dr. Ray Rupert, who's over there, met a number of students and alumni, and he was quite impressed with them, and subsequently gave us our very first endowed scholarship for HIMP students. So thank you, Ray, for your generosity, ongoing mentorship of students. Ray is a regular contributor to SSBH events and conversations online. And we also began to start collections that year for the Brian Hayday Memorial Scholarship, which we hope will be endowed soon. In 2013, we began a new collaboration with the Schulich Heart Center at Sunnybrook Health Science Center. And we created an annual event focused on innovation, primarily dealing with medical devices. In 2014, we experimented with bringing the physician scientists into our classrooms with one of our MBA courses on new venture creation. And this improved, as I'm sure Grant can tell you, the pitches to the Dragon's Den panel considerably, as students had more time to work with the inventors and to engage with the ideas and really develop them into a good business plan. So here comes 2014, our 10th anniversary year. We've done a number of things this year to deepen the impact of our program and to support our students. We created 2 executive and residence positions, Joe Mappa, CEO of Mount Sinai, and David Yunt, the CEO of a supply chain company, Plexus. And these 2 are helping to mentor students, work with our career center, and also to think through strategy at the second decade for HIMP. We launched our first newsletter called Health Connect, which has updates, columns, and where a couple of our alumni were featured to share their insights of the healthcare system. And it really is an interesting, I love this title, Health Connect, because it's really the connection between HIMP and the SSBHE. It's really this lovely collaboration, and these 2 are inextricably entwined. And it's a story of the program and a story of the alumni bringing back to the program. So it's an articulation of that relationship between the program and its alum, which is one of the richest things I think about HIMP. And this year we also collaborated with Nathan. Where's Nathan? There he is, Nathan, who pushed us to connect with the Canadian College of Health Leaders to give HIMP grads advanced standing to become certified health executives when they graduate. So thank you, Nathan, for your role in that. And so this is just one of the many features that we see on our new revised website. And Jazz Singh, who's unable to be with us this evening, but he had unbelievable patience dealing with a rather Byzantine IT system at York University to get our new website launched, and it has very professional videos on this with some of our alum and board members, so I please encourage you to take a look at that. One of the other things that we did in 2014 was have our Boomer Life to Zoomer Life Challenge, which is looking at designing health innovations for our coming of age, as we called it. And we focused on these design challenges, and students from HIMP were teamed up with students from Ontario College of Arts and Design to work on innovations to improve the lives and health outcomes for older Canadians. And beyond Canada, of course, too. And they worked with support from Mars, led by Jerry Coe. Where's Jerry? Somewhere here, there's Jerry. Jerry and his team worked with them, coaching them. And we also had a number of folks here who played also a role in terms of being mentors and coaches for the teams. They presented their innovations and their designs at a public event co-hosted with Venture Lab at the Zoomer Media Studios, which is a pretty impressive kind of day we had, including Mary Lou Findlay from CBC, who was our host for the day. And the students worked hard. I know some of them said they worked too hard. They learned lots, but they taught us even more. And the website, if you want to see the video clips of them doing their presentations, it's on our website, so you can take a look at that. And so this gala is the wrap-up to our 10th anniversary celebrations, and I want to extend a huge round of applause to our alumni who've helped with this event this evening. So thank you for all your support. And the staff here, I can't say enough about the staff here at Schulich. They clearly understand event planning much better than I do, so it was terrific to have their support all through this professional, hardworking team. And finally, a big thank you to our collaborator partner, TD Insurance, and to our patrons who bought corporate tables or sponsored students this evening. So EY, Life Labs, and Carolyn Keystone and Jim Wetson. So thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. So this was just a snapshot of how we got from a student club in 2003 to this gala today. So I hope that sort of gives you a bit of a sense of our history. And just before we have our meal, Dean Dejo Horvat would like to speak to you. And so let me introduce him. He's a very special man and special person for this program. He's been the Dean of the Schulich School of Business since 1988, and he's been one of the longest serving deans in the world. And he holds the Tana H. Schulich Chair in Strategic Management and has been a faculty member since 1977. Since taking on the dean's role, Dr. Horvath has worked tirelessly with all stakeholders to position Schulich as Canada's transnational business school. And as a result, Schulich now has many strategic partnerships around the world. These include academic exchange agreements, which I know a number of you students have taken advantage of, with more than 80 leading international business schools in over 40 countries. As well, Schulich has international satellite centers in Beijing, Shanghai, Seoul, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, and Mumbai. And earlier this year, the Schulich School opened a state-of-the-art campus in Hyderabad, India. In 2004, Dean Horvath was named International Dean of the Year by the Academy of International Business, the world's leading association of scholars in international business. The award recognized his outstanding leadership in various aspects of internationalization. In 2008, he was made a member of the Order of Canada for his role in enhancing Canada's international reputation for academic excellence. And in 2012, he received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in recognition of his achievements and significant contributions to Canada. And earlier this year, he was selected by the Toronto Star as one of the 180 people, past and present, who helped shape the city of Toronto since its founding in 1834 and was included in the Trailblazers and Innovators category. So, welcome to Deja.
Thank you, Brenda. The first reflection I would like to reflect over is, now you know why Brenda has been so busy the last 10 years. So thank you, Brenda, and welcome everyone to this special event to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Schulich Health Industry Management Program. Tonight's celebration is also special because it is one of the first major events taking place as part of the launch of the school's 50th anniversary celebrations. So in front of you on the table, you will find the commemorative Schulich 50th anniversary pin among others. Brenda preempted many of the things I wanted to talk about, so I will try to get around it. And my remarks will this evening more focus on two separate but related stories. Both stories about the health industry management program. The first story is about how the program came about. Yes, the student initiative was one, but it has a preamble. Back in 2001, our school joined the Kellogg School of Management in Chicago to create North America's first ever cross-border executive MBA, which I'm proud to point out was recently ranked in the latest Economist ranking as #1 in the world. During that time, I would go down to Chicago, and Donald Jacobs coming to Toronto from time to time. But when I went down to Chicago and met Donald Jacobs, he introduced me to the school's health enterprise management program. And I became very interested in that. And it has a preamble because we already run a program in non-profit management, but not in health. And Kellogg's offering was one of the first offered among any business school anywhere in the world. And while meeting Donald Jacob, one of the events done in Chicago, he introduced me to Joel Schulich. And he was then director of the program. And he was also a good friend of Donald Jacobs. And the more I heard about the program, I asked him, would you have interest to help us out launch a program here in Toronto? And Joel was very passionate about his program. So when I asked him if he would be willing to help us, the answer obviously was yes. And he has been teaching in our program ever since. And I think he early on helped Brenda greatly with shaping the program and coming up with ideas. So it was my initial meeting with Joel that really made us aware of what great opportunity this was, the opportunity to create the first ever health industry MBA program in Canada. As many of you know, Schulich has worked hard over the years to set itself apart a business school that is globally innovative and diverse. And one of those ways we did this is to create a management education program into sectors and industries that had traditionally never hired MBA students and didn't rely on professional management. This was one of them. You can imagine we have quite a few of those programs today. So Brenda has been busy, but so has been 12 other people in the school. One of the first was the arts and media program, which started far before my time. But one of the first I established when I arrived was in fact the non-profit management program. And I will get back to that program later on. Brenda already referred to that we have a preamble in this sector from that program. Many of those who took this program or that program is now working in senior levels in health management. And then came in 1990 real estate program, in infrastructure development. I will not mention all of them, but it's in excess of 12 of them today. And we'll just launch one this year in global retail management. And soon there will be one which might be related to this program in some way, agribusiness. Because it's not enough food in the world unless somebody creates some professional management program for that sector. The other reason why also it became highly interesting for us to initiate the program, because healthcare, both public and private, at the time we looked at it, represented nearly 20% of Canada's GDP. A huge segment of Canadian economy. And that's actually increasingly true all over the world. So this program, which we created 10 years ago, is just on the way taking off across the world. Because it's true for every country in the developed world that it's in that level, and even in emerging economies, more and more money being poured into this. So it was the right place and right time, and Schulich had the right solution, specialized management training for the next generation in health industry leaders. But we had one major problem. We needed the right person. And it's not appointing a director, that's not the way it works. It was important to find a champion for the program. And it's a big, big difference, a champion versus an appointed director. And that leads me to my second story. Around the time I became dean of Schulich, I served as one of the thesis supervisors to a very bright PhD student with a lot of potential. By the way, a student who has also previously been in our MBA program, and I happened to tutor in quite a few of those courses, I think. Her name was Brenda Zimmerman. And she was a very stubborn PhD student, I have to say, because the committee tried to made it clear to her when she entered the PhD program, you have a choice to do it fast, choose a subject matter which you can easily deal with, you take no risk. Brenda said, no. I want to do chaos theories. She ended up with chaos, strategy, and equilibrium. And I think I even remember the empirical research was at Russell Steel, one of the divisions. You had a good relation with the manager there, and you had a lot of opportunities to work with that. Anyhow, she delivered the thesis, and it was a terrific thesis. And in time, not delayed. So we did something quite unique. We hired her. And it's quite unique because it's a norm for any faculty. It's not only business schools, that you don't hire your own PhD students. And I think all through the years I have been around, it has been hired less than a handful. In fact, I know how many. 3 people who have been hired from the Schulich School through the history of the Schulich School. So we hired Brenda. And Brenda continued her research, but she turned out to be a terrific teacher. Some people have to work on it to become a teacher. Brenda is a natural. She walked in the classroom the first time and she just had the best scores ever. It was never any argument about her teaching quality. And we don't try to ask people to do professional service early on. In fact, they give them usually 6 years. But I didn't give that time for Brenda. Very early on, I actually asked her to become the director for the nonprofit management program. So she started working on this program early on in that program. And that program was originally given to us or established through Royal Bank. And it became and still is a very successful program. But unfortunately, one day, Brenda came to me that she wanted to leave the Schulich School, even if she loved us, etc. But her passion was all her life to be involved in medicine, the medical field, and McGill offered her a position, cross-appointment between the business school and the medical school. Hard to argue with that. So Brenda offered her resignation, which I refused to accept. It's true. I told her, I'm going to give you leave of absence. And it's unheard of, frankly, again, because you maybe give 1 year, possibly, but I gave her leave of absence, a blank check. She left, and I heard from time to time about what she was doing at McGill. But after this development at Kellogg, I thought about whom to appoint director for this new program. And obviously, Brenda came to my mind. This is the time. We didn't have a medical school, but it had to do with a medical field, and she just might be interested. And so she was the first one I phoned. When I thought she began to be interested, again I offered her not only come back to the position, but to become the director of this program. Because I already tested her, and she couldn't resist that, and she said, I'm on my way. This is the true story about how the health management program started. So none of us would be here tonight if it were not for the tremendous leadership Brenda has provided over the past decade. She not only developed the curriculum and basically builds a program from scratch. She created executive education programming, taught in that program, and executive education cannot deliver that program without her help. Formed an advisory board comprised of some leading business people in the industry, established alumni chapters, and provided ongoing support to the student club, to name just a few. And you heard all those details. Some of the program I have been very impressed by is the Son of a Pastor Healthcare Biotech and Venture Challenge, and the other one, the Business Coalition of HIV and AIDS. That actually could have been, at that time, one of the globally most well-recognized program, given what we did at that time. I think that time is over for that program. So from all of us at Schulich and everyone here tonight, thank you, Brenda. Again, Brenda was the driving force behind this evening's gala, and it was her idea to honor and recognize the tremendous achievements and accomplishments of our programs, alumni, and other leaders in the health industry. So on behalf of the Schulich School, I wish to congratulate this evening's nominees. You are all accomplished leaders and innovators in the healthcare field, and we are proud to be associated with each and every one of you. I also wish to thank everyone who took the time to fill out and submit the nomination in order to honor one of your peers in the healthcare industry. Your selections were outstanding. I would like to also thank this evening's sponsors for their generous contributions, and obviously also our staff here who looked after that evening under Brenda's guidance really did happen. And I would like to also wish thank you to the program Distinguished Advisory Board, which chaired by Lawrence Bloomberg. And a special thanks to you, Dr. Shalovich, who provided the great support to us over the years and took the time to fly up to Chicago every time. So he was teaching even today and last night. So thank you, Joel. In closing, congratulations this evening's nominees and their families, to our faculty, staff, and students, and to our many graduate supporters and friends. Thank you for the 10 great years, and I think with many more to come. Thank you.
All right, without further ado, enjoy your dinner. After dinner, I will announce the recipients for the awards, but right now, just enjoy your dinner. Thank you. May I ask, before we go into the recipients now, may I ask all of the nominees who are here tonight, would you please stand so that we can give you our applause here? As you can imagine, we did have criteria for each of these awards, and the nominees met these criteria, and in most cases far exceeded these criteria. So, but it's kind of like the Academy Awards now, so we do have to go to the next part. So I'll do them one at a time. So the nominees for the Distinguished Leader in Health Industry had to meet 3 criteria. The first was this person had to be viewed as having the power to inspire and motivate current and future Schulich students and others while setting example for those to follow. Number 2, exceptional demonstration of vision and leadership, sound business sense and commitment to the community. And number 3, recognized by their peers for long, sustained, and consistent leadership quality. This year's recipient is Tom Clausen. Tom. Come to Desho. Tom has led a very distinguished career in the healthcare sector, including being CEO of Ontario Hospital Association, UHN, and Sunnybrook. He has been on numerous healthcare organization boards and is known for his mentorship in helping others reach their full potential. His success and loyalty to the sector are inspiring to the entire Schulich community. He has earned the respect of multiple stakeholders across the system. Tom is known for his advocacy and leadership on issues such as patient care, accountability in the healthcare system, and research and education. His career journey has spanned the private, public, and not-for-profit sectors, providing Tom with unique perspective and expertise. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. I was told I could say a couple of words. I'll keep this very short. First of all, I want to say how honored I am to receive this award. Looking down the list of people who were nominated, many of whom I know, but also didn't know that they got a Schulich MBA in many cases. I'm very flattered to be the person that was selected for this award. I did want to say that one of the interesting things about getting a York MBA, and I actually started my MBA before the dean actually began working here, which I started in '74. The reason I came to York to take my MBA, certainly it wasn't because it was easy to get to. It was because they had a very extensive part-time program, and I took it while I was working in the healthcare field. But I've heard other people say this, but you may not have all heard this. This York MBA program has to be one of the few programs where the value of your degree gets better as time goes on, because York was not viewed as the top MBA program when I went through it, but it clearly is now, and that's a credit to the people who have worked in it. And this program, the health program, the health focus program, terrific idea. People didn't value MBAs in health when I started, but the idea of combining a good MBA with, or an excellent MBA with a health stream is really what the system needs. So I'm pleased to see it happen. And just one other comment around all of us who have been in this system for a while. We haven't actually solved all the problems yet. So it's great that you're all interested in this to try and make this system work better. Thanks a lot.
Okay. The nominees for the Emerging Health Industry Leader had to meet the following criteria. Number 1, leadership progression within the industry. Number 2, developing a reputation for excellence and thought leadership to the public beyond their own work organization. And number 3, sets an example for future Schulich students to follow. And this year's recipient is Melissa Kahn. Melissa graduated in 2010 with a HIMP specialization. She's a motivated analytic thinker with experience in a range of healthcare settings. Currently, she's manager of diagnostic assessment programs at Cancer Care Ontario, where she's well known for her collaboration skills and strategic thinking. She's passionate about improving the quality of care and the patient experience, particularly for those facing the challenges of a cancer diagnosis. Melissa never loses sight of the goal of value for money as she works with internal and external stakeholders. And those who were her classmates also know she was president of the HCBF, director of the case competition, academic captain and sustainability co-captain of the MBA Games, and student rep on the MBA committee. We want to know how she got by her MBA without any sleep. So, congratulations, Melissa.
So thank you so much for the opportunity. I mean, it was such a tremendous honor to be recognized among not only those who are nominated, but certainly there are a number of outstanding emerging leaders who weren't nominated as well, who are in this room and all over the world, as Schulich is an international program and a business school. But I think certainly I'm most grateful for the opportunity and having graduated from the Schulich HIMP program, and certainly from Brenda's leadership. I think all of us are tremendously grateful for the opportunity and to have the health industry management program here at Schulich. So thank you so much.
Okay, the nominees for the Innovator in Health Industry Award needed to satisfy 3 criteria. Innovative health leadership work, including innovations that have transferability beyond one organization, reputation as a trailblazer in their work, and educates health leaders on innovative work. And this year's recipient is Jerry Coe. So Jerry graduated in 2004 and since then has blossomed into a truly innovative health system leader. At the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care, he took the strategy division from a staid approach to strategic planning to a dynamic scenario planning approach. And this was a radically innovative approach for government and created great excitement and spun off many successful initiatives. He led increasingly significant projects at the Ministry of Health and was noted by those both inside and outside the government for his clarity of thinking, novel ideas, and processes to engage others into thinking deeply and acting boldly. He was then seconded by Mars after the CEO noted his innovation and brilliance, and he has since assumed a permanent position as the manager of the Mars Solutions Lab. Jerry's a consummate lifelong learner. He's filled with enthusiasm for new ideas and always with a focus on how to improve health and social outcomes. He's a master at working across sectors and has deep respect from corporate, government, and not-for-profit leaders. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's a crazy huge honor to be standing up here. Honestly, because when I was looking at the list of other nominees, and I remember talking to one of my good friend who's here too, Ty, and we were joking about how incredible it would be to even be on this list, let alone win it, and yet here I am. So never I thought this. I moved here, as you can hear from my accent, about 11 years ago from Singapore. I came here because I thought, why not? Canada, I'm tired of the heat, the tropics. Why not give the cold a try? But, it's been an amazing 11 years, starting with my journey here at Schulich, without which it would not have been possible. It was over here that I met Brenda. It was here that I met Brian, both of whom were lifelong mentors for me, who helped set the pathway for me, helped me think about the kind of innovator that I want to be, helped me believe that I could actually be a lifelong professional innovator. And so today, I sit here and I'm standing up here and thinking about all our other very innovative colleagues here. There's Tom over there, whom I've worked with. If you think about all the diabetes, any kind of injectable drugs that many of us cannot live without, well, Tom has been responsible to help make sure that it would not be interrupted, the supply of those drugs would not be interrupted. And then we've got Virginia, whom I worked with for a short while, who now sits on the OMA, the chair of OMA actually, right? It's just been a crazy amount of innovation here. And then of course Fatima, who's sitting there, who helped break UHN into Kuwait. How much is that? Is that $100 million or $100 million contract? So I think HIMP has been an amazing factory of innovators, producing innovators in all sorts of different fields, working across various different sectors. And I'm just looking forward to seeing even more of that. And before I go, I do want to sort of just thank again, because Brenda once more, my lifelong teacher, and Brian, whom I would not have been able to stand here today, and Lorna Wright, who's not here today. She was my director when I was on the IMBA program, and Bernie Wolf, who was very, very forgiving of all my very willful ways. Without all these teachers, I would not be here today. So thank you very much, and once again, thank you for the honor.
So as I look at this last list, I'm filled with a deep sense of gratitude, personal gratitude, because every person on this list, without exception, has made enormous difference to students and alumni at Schulich and the development of HIMP. I could not have done my job without their support. So each nominee for the outstanding leadership to the Schulich health industry community met the following criteria. Number one, they supported the development of new relationships, partnerships, playing a pivotal role in enriching and facilitating connections between HIMP students, HCBF, SSBHE, all of our acronyms, faculty, and the Career Development Center, Advisory Board, and external stakeholders. Number two, demonstrate a consistent track record of commitment to Schulich's HIMP community. Number three, committed to mentoring and coaching future healthcare leaders. And this year's recipient is Jyoti Bhardwaj. It's a long way. Congratulations. So let me read from some of the letters of support that were sent in for Jyoti. One of the letters reads, Jyoti is one of the key reasons I stay connected with SSBHE and HIMP. She is a true ambassador for the school and the program. From day one at Schulich, Jyoti was engaged as a student leader. Another letter says, in both years at the school, she was instrumental in creating a healthcare career fair, and this was a significant undertaking. She skillfully presented Schulich HIMP students as being the best in field and encouraged 24 companies and healthcare organizations to come to recruit students. She coordinated the details of the entire event during her second year while also being the president of the HCBF and working as a research assistant. During her time at Schulich, she demonstrated her mastery of negotiating with staff, faculty, students, advisory board members, and organizations outside the school. Upon graduation, Jyoti continues to support SSBHE and current HIMP students. She's a regular contributor to SSBHE LinkedIn site. In spite of moving to Vancouver, she's still very much part of the HIMP SSBHE community. She's always open to support students with advice and connections. So those are from parts of her letters that she received. And I might add that Jyoti's work on the career fair has been instrumental in reshaping the Career Development Center for healthcare students, including hiring Paul Irwin, who's here this evening with us, who's in a special role to support HIMP and a more established career fair in the future. So your legacy lives on. So thank you, Jyoti.
Thank you. Like Melissa, I was incredibly honored just to be nominated. So for me to be able to represent such an amazing group of individuals is truly a privilege. And I can only imagine how difficult it must have been for the award selection committee, given the long list of achievements and contributions of my fellow nominees. Each and every one of them has dedicated time outside of their very busy careers and families and friends to help Schulich be the best that it can be. And each of them has made a significant impact in their own right, whether through the donation of a scholarship that gives students the opportunity to train in healthcare leadership, or by providing experiences and mentorship and tools and resources to help students and alumni emerge as health leaders, to become distinguished in their fields, and to bring innovation to healthcare. So I think that it's a huge honor to be up here, and I think that the long list of nominees is a testament to all the individuals that have contributed to the program, and still there are many others who have contributed and helped shape the program into what it is today. that are here as well and deserve to be recognized as well. So thank you to them as well. And yeah, thank you.
So again, let me thank all of the nominees and all of the nominators who took the time to put together these packages. That's just terrific. So just before we head into the fun part of the evening, the dessert, chocolate, conversation, drinks, music, let me take another minute of your time. I'll be brief. I've had the privilege of being the director of HIMP since its inception, but in 2016 I'll be stepping down from this role as I prepare for the next chapter of my life, as I prepare for retiring from Schulich and going on to other things. So I may not have another formal opportunity to say goodbye and to say thank you and to express my gratitude in this kind of a context. I do feel a profound sense of gratitude to alumni, to faculty, to staff, to board members who have been so instrumental in shaping HIMP. I feel humbled by the graduates of Schulich who are working in healthcare. I'm in awe of your accomplishments. But more than that, I'm in awe of your deep-seated belief that you can make a difference in health outcomes for Canadians and citizens around the world. That's what gets me up every morning. So thank you for caring deeply. Thank you for taking risks. Thank you for innovating. Thank you for listening to the needs of citizens. Thank you for your integrity and for giving back to Schulich and to your communities. We are lucky to have you working for all of us. You give me hope for the future, and I will always feel blessed that I will be able to say, I knew them when. So to all here tonight, nominees, alum, students, friends of Schulich, health community, advisory board members, faculty, and staff, I am truly, truly grateful. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now, let's party.